If you are going out on your own and opening your own law firm, one of the first decisions you're going to have to make in going solo is deciding the name of your law firm, because you can't set up your domain and get a website or order business cards or set up email or any of those things until you know what the name of your law firm is going to be. So there's a lot of options for naming your law firm, and I dealt with some trying to figure out what to name my law firm. So I've been solo for about almost 10 years now. March 1st will be 10 years. And I remember trying to figure out what should I name my law firm. So here's the thing, because if you use your own name, if I just went with law firm of Darcel Lobo, that can be limiting if you want to expand with additional attorneys in the future to only have the law firm in just your name. It can be done. It's a great option for a lot of attorneys, but there is that limitation, right? If you do something like what I did and just use my initials, that allows you some more growth. It's not tied to an individual person. Now, most people can kind of figure out that Darcel Lobo, I'm probably DAL, right? Those are probably my initials, but it's not so direct as far as just being law firm of Darcel Lobo. Being Dow law firm kind of allowed me some more flexibility for what I wanted to do with the firm, and so that's why I went with that when I went out on my own, and I've kept that same name the whole time. And also just know that if you pick a name and you really, really come to hate it 5 years from now, you can change it. Now, you are going to have to change your domain, and you are going to have to get new letterhead. You are going to have to change your email, but you can. If you're a solo, that's one of the beauties. You get to decide if you want to change your name and change your name, okay? I just want to put that caveat in there. All right. So you also can look at maybe using more not generic, but like a practice area name. But this could be limiting for practice areas, right? If you pick like, I don't know, Seattle estate planning firm. I don't know, if wherever you are, I mean, pick your geographic area and your practice area and put it together. You can go with that. However, what if you change your practice areas? I know this firsthand because for most of my career, I did a lot of bankruptcy work. My primary focus was helping homeowners avoid foreclosure, and I did that through Chapter 13 bankruptcy. But then through COVID, especially peak COVID, there were no bankruptcy cases. There were no foreclosures. There were stays and moratoriums on everything. And I, besides doing bankruptcy work, I also did estate planning. I also did probate. I also did real estate. And thank goodness I did, because the estate planning side of my practice and probate side skyrocketed during COVID. And it stayed that way ever since. And so if I had a bankruptcy related law firm name or a foreclosure related law firm name, I would have had a little bit of a harder time with that pivot. Whereas with my initials, I just kind of changed some pages on my website to make the focus more on the estate planning side of my practice. I was able to kind of make that pivot easier than if I had to rebrand the entire firm and change the name. And so keep that in mind that, and I was very passionate about doing foreclosure and bankruptcy work at that time. So it would have been a very logical choice for me. And so, and for you, you may do criminal law right now, criminal defense, and you know that that's what you want to do. But, you know, the version from you 5 years from now, 8 years from now, may want to pivot. So you want to be able to have that ability and room to grow. Now, like I already said, if you're a solo, if you're the only owner, you can do whatever you want. And if you called yourself the Houston Criminal Defense Firm and you decide that you want to pivot and do immigration work instead, you can change that name whenever you want to. Okay, so you do have that option. Just know that it is going to be a bit more work, but you can do so. But just something to think about as you're trying to decide what name to use. And I guess this is all to say, I don't have a perfect answer for you. I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't have the perfect answer as far as what you should name your firm. But what I will say is that you can't keep letting that delay you and slow down the growth of you opening your law firm. You're going to need to make a decision and to move forward with it. We can't let something like picking the name of a law firm really debilitate you or really slow down the path that you're on to law firm ownership. And so whenever you do decide on what the name is going to be for your law firm, let's do a few things. Let's do some homework, okay? Let's make sure the domain is available. How do you do that? You go to GoDaddy.com and type in the name of the law firm that you want and see if it's available. You really want a .com website address. I know there's like .law or .co or other like, you want the .com, okay? So for some names, they may be available for you to purchase for pretty cheap through GoDaddy, and if so, you need to buy it and lock it down. For some of you, there may be a name that you want that somebody else owns, but they're willing to sell it, and you may have to buy it, right, if it's that important to you. You also want to make sure that no other law firm, at least around you, has the same name or has one that is too similar of a name. So do a Google search for the name that you are considering before you lock it in. Now, when I went with Dow Law Firm, it was because those are my initials. There was no other Dow Law Firm, around. I'm in Seattle, so it seemed safe. After I locked down my name and opened my law firm, you know what I realized? There are a lot of companies in Dallas, Texas called Dow. There's a lot of them. There's other law firms that have Dow in their name. I have not found another Dow law firm specifically, but I have seen other law firms that have the name Dow in them, or some variation of that. And just, it's pretty popular, it seems, to just be Dow and whatever the business is, right? So just do your homework first and before you lock down whatever that name is going to be. So once you picked your name, you've confirmed it's available, you've done your due diligence, and you've looked online, you're going to buy that domain immediately. Lock it down. You're going to also lock down the email address. Please do not use a Gmail account for your law firm's email, okay? Just don't do it. Pay the fee for the email address. So I use Darcel at Dow Law Firm, and so all my staff at my firm all have the at Dow Law Firm email address. So we have assistant at Dow Law Firm, we have support at Dow Law Firm, okay? So you're going to use that as your email, whatever the name is that you've decided on. So you're going to buy those and lock those down also. Again, you can do all this on GoDaddy. That's what I did when I went out on my own, as I bought these things from GoDaddy. It's worked out great. You're also going to claim all the social media accounts with that name of your law firm, okay? Even if you don't think you're ever going to use it, just snatch it up and lock it down so nobody else can have it. So your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, claim them all. Even if you do not use them, even if you don't plan to use them. Now, I have shared with you in other videos that I think you probably should be using at least one of those other platforms to get your business out there, but at least just claim them for now so you have them in your control. So again, don't let picking the name of your law firm be the thing that slows you down. Now, give it some thought, but then make a decision, stick with it, and just move forward. So if you need some more motivation on your journey to becoming a solo law firm owner, make sure you stick around. I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.